We talked about the developing story with Brian Flores suing the NFL, the Broncos, the Dolphins, and the Giants, JP. This is serious, right? It's something that we've talked about, you and I, we've talked about in our production meetings with diversity in the NFL and among coaches. And you had 9 coaching openings, right? You've had 5 filled already, and no people of color hired. And then you have this lawsuit by Brian Flores, who was fired in Miami, was said to be difficult to work with. And then you have the lawsuit come out, gets text messages thinking that he has the job in New York before he actually interviews, and then come to find out it was actually talking about Brian Dable.
Yeah, and all of this news coming on the first day of Black History Month. I mean, there's no other way to describe it. And I don't think that there is language I could use that's safe for TV that's strong enough to describe what I'm feeling right now about this situation. I am disappointed about what's going on, but I am not at all surprised. The NFL has a horrible track record when it comes to diversity and inclusion, and this is just an example. The fact that the Rooney Rule would be used as a sham just so they can hire somebody that they already decided that they wanted absolutely blows my mind. You mentioned the coaching vacancies that remain right now. You've got Miami. That was the team that fired Brian Flores. They've obviously got some issues with the news coming that their owner, Stephen Ross, wanted to pay Brian Flores to tank $100,000 a game. Absolutely wild. You've got Houston, which is a mess because we don't know about Deshaun Watson. You've got Jacksonville, that's bad ownership. That's a GM who is not very good at his job. You've got New Orleans, which is salary cap hell right now. And you've got Minnesota, and it seems like Jim Harbaugh is going to get that job. And some of the hires that we've seen so far, like Josh McDaniels is the example for me. That's a retread guy. He had issues in Denver. He wanted Tim Tebow, who was not a very good quarterback. He was fired 12 games in to his second season as head coach. He took the Indianapolis job and then backed out of it. His agent fired him because of it, and now he's getting hired. He is a retread coach who has shown a track record of failure. A black man trying to get a job in the NFL would never receive the same grace. And that's the part of it that really makes me mad. This is an issue. It's an institutional issue. It's a systemic issue, and it needs to be addressed because I'm tired of seeing it.
You and I talk about this a lot. Sometimes you get one opportunity as a black coach in the NFL. Like you look at Raheem Morris, you look at other guys who've had opportunities one time. You look at Jim Caldwell when he was up in Detroit. He was the last coach to take the Lions to the playoffs, and he got fired, right? He was over 500, and he's had to wait over a decade for an opportunity to even interview again. Like that's insane. And so I wish I was surprised by this, right? I wish I was surprised by this lawsuit. I wish I was surprised by situations like Colin Kaepernick, where the NFL came out, years later and said, "Oh yeah, we were kind of wrong about the Colin Kaepernick thing. Let's go on about our business." Like it's insane, and I'm tired of seeing it. And I think you're right. Like the fact this is on the first day of Black History Month, I think it's quite ironic.